Everyone knows that beauty is pain, but did you know that in the Black community, our obsession with beauty is literally causing us to have cancer? This is the sad truth that is being fully emphasized by the 2022 study that is directly linking the chemicals that we put in our hair to cancerous products. But the Black community has known this for a long time. We literally call the products that we use to perm our hair creamy crack. But despite the fact that we literally know that these products are carcinogens, why do we still use them? The natural hair community was literally born out of the fear that Black women were having higher cases of cancer due to the hair products we use. But now that we are in 2023, we can really see that all of the hard work that the natural hair movement did was for nothing. In today's video, I'll be talking about the past as it relates to Black women and their hair, the natural hair movement, and why I feel like the natural hair movement has failed all of us. So if you're interested in that topic, keep on watching. Hi guys, welcome back to Ella Pastoral. And in today's video, I'll definitely be talking about why I feel like the natural hair movement has failed us. And this topic has been on my mind for a long time, seeing as I have 4C hair and the natural hair movement was supposed to be for people like me. And seeing how it is in our 2023 has really disappointed me. But before I really talk about how the natural hair movement has failed us, I want to talk about Black women and their history as it relates to their hair. The history of Black women and their hair has been an extensive one. And I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm just going to recommend this video right here by Shakespeare. And this video is really good because I feel like it really digs deep into all of the extensive history that has to do with Black women and their hair. But just to summarize a bunch of the major points that Shakespeare made, to be honest, a lot of the history of Black women's hair has to do with shame. This shame has come from the fact that white people never understood Black hair because it was almost the complete opposite of white women's hair. And because of the fact that Black women's hair was specifically viewed as an oddity, white women made sure that there were laws passed to make Black women cover up their hair. And ever since the beginning, where Black women were forced to step on this land, we were always having a weird relationship with our hair. Due to the fact that many white people saw our hair as bizarre, there has been a lot of laws policing how Black women's hair is supposed to look. And even as we moved out of slavery and things were supposed to get better with the end of slavery, Black women's hair was still policed in one way, shape, or another. One of the ways that, Black women's hair was policed was by comparing Black women's hair with mixed Black people's hair. So due to the violence that Black women faced during slavery, there were mixed children created due to this violence. And a lot of the time, these mixed people would have different hair textures, seeing as they were not 100% Black. Due to the fact that proximity to whiteness is always put as the standard of beauty, Black people started to be compared to these mixed children who had looser, less coarse hair. And due to the fact that a lot of these Black people could not magically make themselves mixed, there was different treatments and techniques used in order to make Black women's hair less nappy and more desirable based on, the white standard of beauty at the time and even to this day. The way most women were able to get their hair to be the more desirable texture was either by straightening it or using chemical relaxers, which we now know were super toxic and super deadly. And even as we moved into the civil rights movement and Black women's hair became a political statement, 4C hair specifically was never really seen as the desirable hair texture. It was always the 3 C's, the 2 B's that were looked at as the prettiest hair textures, or also known as the colloquial term known as good hair. You will never see anyone look at someone with my hair texture and be like, oh, she has good hair, because good hair refers to a looser hair texture. And what is really crazy about the history of policing Black women's hair is the fact that even though it is 2023, Black women are literally still being, judged and bullied for their hair textures. And there was literally a law that was, put out called the Crown Act that the Republican Party literally shut down. And what is so crazy is hair texture discrimination, also known as texturism, is still affecting us to this day. That's why the bill was even presented, but Republicans were literally like, we should have the right to judge you based on your hair texture. It literally never ends. So like I said in the beginning of this video, the natural hair movement was supposed to be for women like me. Women with coarse, kinky, curly hair that were always degraded and, pushed down for having the hair that God gave us. Because nobody wants to be nappy after all. And literally, if you look at the current faces of the natural hair community, women with my texture are not the face of the movement like they were supposed to be. The main purpose of the natural hair movement was to tell women with kinky, curly, 4C hair that it was okay to not literally poison themselves with those chemical agents, and that it was okay to let your hair be like how God intended. And I really want to blame capitalism for ruining what the natural hair community was supposed to be. I really feel like after the rise of the naturalistas on YouTube and all of these hair companies coming and partnering with these natural hair gurus was when everything low-key went to hell. So personally for me, I did my big chop in high school around my sophomore year. I think maybe 2016 or 2017. And literally during this time, all you will see is partnership. And what I really feel like led the natural hair community down a very dark alley was when everyone started promoting 18-step wash day routines. Like for me, not only was it a problem that these naturalistas were partnering with these big companies, because, you know, companies want to promote to people who are more desirable. And like I said before, the people with the most desirable hair textures were the ones with the looser, you know, 3C, 3B type beats, right? And even if there was a 4C naturalista getting these products and, you know, getting the money from these companies, they would be promoting things they knew for a fact wouldn't work. Like for me, what always threw me off is that every week you would try a whole new hair regimen. And how would you ever know the efficacy of this regimen when you would only make it last for a week? And because of capitalism, we would always get these new products, and all of the impressionable, you know, new people who were natural for the first time, they would buy these products. And I really feel like it was a problem, because I would personally buy all of the products my favorite naturalistas would tell me would work, only for them not to work. And I didn't know that they were being sponsored. Like I remember there was this whole big change in YouTube's policy where you would have to disclose that you were, you know, sponsored, because these people were lying. Like these people were lying for real. And one of my biggest gripes about the natural hair community is that every other week somebody would be putting you down for your hair regimen. Like we didn't have 18 steps going on. Like for example, I remember there was a whole debate if you should do liquid oil cream or if you should do liquid oil cream and oil. And also people would be like, oh no, hair grease is killing y'all, And it would always be some type of controversy going on with these routines. So if you were just a simple small town girl trying to figure out what to do with her hair, it would be extremely overwhelming. And then it eventually got to a point where it was a mindset where it was like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And a lot of people were like, yo, natural hair is way too much work, and they went back to the creamy crack. And I really feel like that's the capitalism of it and the promotion of, you know, these looser hair textured girls who also happen to be light-skinned was the downfall of the natural hair community, because you started with one message which was promoting and pushing out the message that people with 4C hair was beautiful, for it to stop that, to then push the people who are already seen as acceptable. And that's how I feel like the natural hair movement failed us. So now that I have talked about the past and the present of the natural hair movement, I really want to talk about the future that I foresee for the natural hair movement. So like I said, a lot of women are just tired of all of the damned if you do, damned if you don't mentality that the natural hair community has, you know, fostered, and they just want to have their hair straight. And I personally have no problem with black women having their hair straight. We already know that black women catch a lot of smoke for having our hair the way God intended. But my issue is that if you're going to have your hair straight, I am begging you, please do not use relaxers or perms, because we're literally seeing that it causes cancer. Like, please just get a blowout and just make sure you wrap that joint up with a silk scarf or something. I really don't want to hear no high statistics of black women getting cancer. Like we already know black women are suffering right now in America. We really don't need another thing to add to our suffering. Like I literally saw a black woman put the creamy crack on her baby, and her baby was literally crying, ow, ow, ow. Like we have to do better, especially for the next generation. Retire the creamy crack today, please. And just like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm actively seeing black women sue the perming companies. And what the gag is that all of the girls who are on the Just For Me boxes even said that they never had perms. So we know that perms aren't giving us the look that we want. So please, leave the creamy crack alone. I really feel like we could really turn the natural hair community around if we became serious and actually started pushing marginalized hair textures into the forefront, like how it was in the beginning. Like if I were able to see more natural hair compilations that featured 4C shorts, you know, thick hair, or women who look like this as the forefront of the natural hair community, I really feel like we would be going towards a better future for the natural hair community. And I also think there needs to be a promotion of more 4C/kinky coily wigs. Like, I follow so many wig influencers and I would never see them, you know, talk about kinky coily headband wig, kinky coily regular wig, kinky coily tape-ins. Like, you know, that is a thing that exists. And I really feel like if there was more positive promotion saying, ooh, I'm slaying my hair with my 4C hair wig, then a lot of people will feel better, because then 4C hair would be idolized and pushed more. And I really feel like if that is the change that happens, then the natural hair community will definitely be better. And yeah, that's all of my opinions for today's video. I feel like this is a very short video, but I really needed to talk about it because as someone with said kinky coily hair, I really feel like we could do better for my brothers and sisters with that hair texture. If you guys like this video, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button. If you enjoyed my commentary for today's video, make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Bye!